You are listening to the Monday Night Community Show this evening, and we're now joined in the studio with David Day, the principal of the Isle of Sheppey Academy. You may remember we briefly spoke to David when I was out and about and I visited the Sheppey Academy. We're now joined with him in the studio. Welcome along to the show.
Thanks very much, Daniel. Delighted to be here.
So how are things going? Are you enjoying yourself?
Absolutely, loving it. It starts with the morning, Daniel, when we drive across the bridge.
Right.
The mist coming up from the fields, fantastic views on a clear morning, right the way across the Thames, across to Essex. Great view of the industry in Sheerness. And when I get into the academy, really enjoying the positivity of the staff. And the pupils have been very, very welcoming and continue to do so. And I'm just enjoying getting around lessons and getting around the place. And I think it's going well.
Have you been involved in the wider community and the island?
Yes, we have actually. Just this evening, Daniel, I've been out to St George's Primary School, meeting some parents of Year 6 pupils in particular, beginning to look at that all-important transfer from primary schools to secondary schools. Wider, we are looking at a Christmas fair over the Christmas period, where we'll look to run some stalls in Sheerness. It's great community development for our business studies and enterprise students, because every student, Daniel, will do an enterprise qualification. We've just employed part-time a sports member of staff to go into primary schools to help with PE and sports, so we can give some support there to all-important development of sports in this run-up to the Olympic Games, which will be important to the area. And arguably the biggest project is, of course, the Vestas wind farm project, and I'm fully behind Lars Eriksson and the project here to bring 2,000 jobs to Sheerness. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I really hope planning permission is forthcoming in March 2012 and we can begin to move forward from there, and the academy can move forward alongside Vestas to help create the workforce to secure those 2,000 jobs.
David, how are you responding to the latest educational innovations?
Daniel, one of the biggest initiatives is almost a back to basics culture and a thrust to raise academic attainment, and that fits in neatly with what we're trying to do at the Isle of Sheppey Academy. We are creating a gifted and talented stream next academic year for the new Year 7 coming into the school. Those will be pupils who have achieved level 5 in maths or English at primary school, and they will be following a traditional curriculum which is very much similar to a grammar school curriculum. Youngsters doing English literature, English language, mathematics, not general science, but physics, chemistry, biology, history, geography, French, Spanish, and when they get a little older they'll have the opportunity for looking at other alternatives as well, such as the odd vocational course or the additional GCSE. But the emphasis for those pupils will be to ratchet up academic standards. Equally, we're very keen to support pupils who have more challenging situations, such as free school meals or have special educational needs. We want to make sure we're doing the very best for those youngsters, and we can drive up their English and their mathematics and their general attainment.
Now, many of our listeners, and I certainly have seen the cranes that are doing the new building at the academy. How is that coming on?
It's coming on very, very well. Really exciting part of the new job for myself, coming into a £54 million rebuild of the entire academy on both the Minster and the Sheerness site. This, Daniel, is the biggest public sector build project in the lifetime of this government and this parliament.
Right, I didn't realise that.
And it's about time that this island had a real investment in secondary education. We're bang on time on the east site.
Right.
Be very honest with you, we're 10 days behind schedule on the west site, but all these schedules can be thrown by inclement weather in the winter, a prolonged period of freezing temperature, or the snows that we had in last December. All these can put back building works, but I'm pleased to say that we're really on schedule and going well at the moment. And one can see the structures being built up, and some of the parents, Daniel, who've had a look around, particularly the West Side Academy, have been able to look from a couple of classrooms and just see the steel structures and the outlines of the building. Really exciting time.
David, what response have you had from the parents?
We've had a very good response, Daniel. Firstly, from parents who are already with pupils at the academy. We've sent out a number of praise letters for pupils who've spoken on open evening, pupils who've assisted as guides and helping visitors to the academy, and I've had a number of personal responses from parents just thanking us for being positive with them, and that's really nice to see, because I want to engage with parents. Schools are fantastic at sending letters saying little Johnny is not doing very well, but what we need to be good at also is praising individuals and praising students. And I hope very much at the end of this week to be able to send a big praise letter out to every child who's had 100% attendance so far this academic year, because we're trying to major and build on that attendance figure. Secondly, the parents of Year 6 pupils who've come up every Tuesday evening for the 4 o'clock to 5:15 transition courses. These are courses, Daniel, that we run exclusively for Year 6 students who can sample English, maths, science, history, geography, technology, PE in a secondary school setting. They've very much appreciated it because it's given their youngsters a bit more confidence, a bit more reassurance about making that, if you like, giant leap from primary school to secondary school, and realising it's not a giant leap at all. It's just a natural progression.
What changes are you planning on?
Well, I've talked with you earlier, Daniel, in this interview about the academic fast track of students we're going to have. Each of the mini schools will have this gifted and talented group following that traditional, if you like, grammar school style curriculum. That will take place for the new Year 7 with effect from the 1st of September 2012. I'm going to look very closely at the staffing structure and reposition the staffing structure to place the most emphasis on the attainment of young people and indeed their outcomes. I also want to look at ensuring that the academy is well represented in the community, hence coming on your show tonight, Daniel. And we link very closely with our primary schools, we link very closely with post-16 providers, and indeed with Lars Eriksson and the Vestas project to provide the workforce that this community needs in the regeneration of the Swale Borough, because the Swale Borough has a lot to offer in terms of future employers, and I hope we can provide them with the workforce of tomorrow.
What are your priorities over the next 6 months?
Daniel, the first priority has to be to raise pupil achievement and indeed aspirations. Let's not have a ceiling on achievement, let's aim for the stars. We did very well last year with 100% of youngsters leaving the sixth form with 2+ A levels. We want to not only repeat that, but beat that in terms of the number of A's and B grades and distinctions we achieve on our BTEC courses. So sixth form attainment, real priority and a real success story for the academy. Likewise at GCSE, I want to build on the 2 years of significant improvement in GCSE attainment in both mathematics and English. Begin to work also on that vocational programme. Let's have a look at planning for the future with new courses in renewable energy, the engineering, manufacturing field, so we can contribute fully to the redevelopment of the Sheerness economy and indeed the Swale economy. I'd like to raise attendance of students, and I know my staff are working really hard to improve that, to work with families, to work with parents, and I just appeal to parents to make every effort to send the young people to school, because it's not rocket science. The youngsters who attend well have the most qualifications and the most success in life. And finally, just to plan for any structural changes that we're going to make to the provision of student education and indeed staffing structures, to make sure that at the bottom line, the attainment of the young people remains and is the top focal point here at the Academy.
David, do you have any useful contact details where our listeners can find out more?
Yes, of course, it's the 3 W's, isn't it? The World Wide Web of the Isle of Sheppey Academy, all one word, .org.uk, and you can pick up lots more information about the Academy. Equally, if you want to phone on the east site, it's 01795 87 35 91, and on the west side, same code, 66 24 74.
David, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along to us here at BRFM, and of course telling us all about the Isle of Sheppey Academy.
Daniel, thanks very much, and looking forward to working with you over the next few years.
That's David Day, the principal of the Isle of Sheppey Academy, here at the Monday Night Community Show this evening on BRFM.